Hey guys, we're going to show you how to draw a room using 1-point perspective, which is page number 6 in your packet. So this is a little difficult. There is a trick that I need to show you on the last 3 steps, but you can follow along if you ever get lost, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and start off with finding my vanishing point by drawing an X. Okay, and that's going to be my vanishing point. There's really no need for me to draw a horizon line in this case because horizon line is really outside of the room. But we can go ahead and get started with the line edges of the room by drawing a perpendicular line right there. You guys understand how to draw a perpendicular line by aligning any of this red line to the edges of paper, which is already 90 degrees for you. I'm going to go ahead and take that spot and go ahead and draw top of the room and the bottom of the room, and that should really connect these 2 points pretty well. Perfect. So this is the face of the room that I'm facing, really. And so I'm going to go ahead and erase my orthogonal line. We're going to go ahead and start on the left-hand side, the door. We're going to go ahead and create a long line. That's one side of the door. And I'm going to go ahead and start darkening this so that you guys can see. I lightened it because these were act as guidelines. And the top that connects to vanishing point, orthogonal line, and parallel line right down. And I'm going to go ahead and bold the bottom line of the room. Now we're going to go ahead and work on the frame of the door. Just make another parallel line. And that point is going to be to vanishing point, orthogonal line, and then draw a perpendicular line right there. And your doorknob is just going to be a black dot. Let's go ahead and work on the window. Pretty easy, right? So I'm going to go ahead and draw a window. Let me define this wall. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the edge of the window. Make sure it's perpendicular to the edge of the paper. And orthogonal line to vanishing point. And I'm going to go ahead and close it off like so. I'm going to go ahead and work on the frame. Just make sure you do inner lines and connect each end of that line to vanishing point. Vanishing point. And then I'm going to go ahead and close it off. Now I just flipped my ruler because I noticed that some of the red line is sort of rubbing off of my white paper. So, all right, let's go ahead and let's just have some fun and draw a cross bar for the window. Now, because your window is no longer a square but a trapezoid, your center line has also shifted. How do we find a center line for a box? We'll normally cut it in half, right? But there's another way of finding a center point by drawing a diagonal line across. So this is a trapezoid. Your box has shifted. So the best way for us to find the center point is by drawing a cross point, and wherever it crosses, that's going to be the center line for that particular box. So we are going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and make a cross point, and that's going to be my center line. And I'm going to go ahead and create a bar. There we are, window. Now I'm going to go ahead and erase the whole thing to the point where you can still see it, but you wouldn't bother with the drawing with those extra guidelines. And I'm just going to go ahead and clean things up. Craftsmanship does count as a grade, so make sure you make it clean and neat. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the most difficult part of this drawing, which is drawing the floor. And it's not really that difficult. We just need to learn a quick trick. So I'm going to redefine this board. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vertical floorboard that we see. So we need to cross this, sort of divide this horizontal line into 7 sections in order for me to create that 8 floorboard. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of guesstimate and divide it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Best guesses here. I think that's pretty good. Now, before I work on horizontal lines, I'm going to go ahead and finish all the orthogonal lines. And I'll show you a reason why we are doing this first. Okay. Now, if you take a look at the final photo here, the distance or the thickness of the tile gradually gets smaller and smaller. How do we decide on that distance decreases? Well, we can do that by drawing a diagonal line from one end to the other of a trapezoid. And wherever this diagonal line crosses with the orthogonal line, that's where you're going to create that horizontal line. For an example, if you look at here, it crosses right there, here, 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 there, and there, and there. And you can see the space gradually and slowly getting narrower. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Make sure it's parallel to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It looks much more natural, right? I'm going to go ahead and erase all those guidelines. Of course, those will count. And we are done. If you want to add a picture frame or a desk or a sofa, anything like that, that'd be really nice too. All right, bye guys.